Hi, I'm Mike with Janky Town Production. We'll be doing the shocks today, but I'm also doing my brakes. So I'm doing the front end shocks. If you're just doing the shocks, you should be able to do it without taking the tire off. You just turn the wheel all the way to the right or the left and do one side at a time. This truck has shocks because it already has coil springs that the shocks just go through, so it doesn't have struts. If you're taking the tire off, I used a cordless impact. Makes it easier. But otherwise you can use it. If you're doing the brake pads, this little lip, just put you a pry bar in there. Pull on open up the caliper a little bit. Makes it a lot easier. Also, if you're taking off the brakes, it's 1/2 inch. It's this one right here. It's not the one here. It's this one and this one right on top. If you're just changing the pads, this does not need to come off. Just this part. I used a small pry bar. You can use a screwdriver, but a little bit bigger pry bar is better. You just pry it off. It should come off easier if you open the calipers a little bit more, but I just pried it off. You can always close it in, I'll show that later, with a C-clamp when you go to put the new ones on, because they're going to be thicker, so you need to open it up a little more. Now I'm taking the pads off. See how see, that one goes that way. That one goes that way. I set the caliper up here out of the way so you're not messing with any lines, not hanging down. You really don't want it hanging down. I use this ceramic brake lubricant. You just put it on the brake pads. I recommend using it. I've been using it for years. It seems to help. It seems to work better. There's no noise when you start, when you put that on. Open up your C-clamp. Use one of your old brake pads and then tighten it up, and it'll close that a little bit, so when you go to put the new ones on, you got more room. I was having a little bit of trouble lining up this bottom bolt. I just stuck a Phillips screwdriver in there, found the hole, kind of lined it up. Alright, as you can see, the brake pad's done. Put the bolt on, the other bolt. Now I'm going to go for the shock. Got to take this bolt off. Now they say you got to have a backup on top and one to turn that one. I'm going to see if it just turns without backing it up, because it might be hard. And I might need both hands to unloosen this one first, and then I can put a wrench on top. But I'm going to try to unloosen that one first a little bit. Okay, I did have to put that on top to unloosen it, or that whole thing tries to spin on you. And if you're doing the brakes, just try to lube it up first, because I had a little bit of trouble unloosening that. I got it freed up. Now I'm going to take it off. Now I found it's easier if you use some smaller pliers You're gonna have to leave that one on, and you can kind of ratchet it and just hold the bolt if you want to. Now you got this piece and this piece. Put it like this. And that bolt is here. So you just make sure when you put it back that big piece goes first, flat piece on top. Then you got 2 bolts under here. This is a 1/2 inch also. If you have a drill driver or a reducer for your impact, or even a drill to get that, it'll help you out instead of having to sit there and turn it. Okay, after I got those 2 bolts off, it just dropped all the way out, came out no problem. Those are stationary, they stay on the frame. So just the bolts from the bottom come out. Okay, they look like they matched up. Looks like these, I don't know if they come up or not, the old ones, but looks like that, and then your rubber. It doesn't say either side, so, but it does have. Hold on, let me check this out. Okay, on these, to me, it looks like these little, it's got little something, pimples coming out. Looks like it goes onto the outside. And then I'm gonna put it on and go from there. Okay, I recommend getting the right shocks, the more expensive one, because I think they'll go on there a little bit easier. I had to put the tire back on. Then the shock was hanging down past these, so I had to put the jack, put it right under in the shock, and lift up on it. It's not hard because it's, you know, it's just gas. And then you're going to need a long socket, or you're going to have to do it with a wrench. Because once you get so far with the little socket, it's not catching no more. But I'll show you. I got to do the other side. So when I put the jack on it, when it's hanging down, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, see how it's hanging down? I'm going to put the jack under it. Just, it's not hard, just pretty much just use my hand. See, just like that. And remember, when you work on the brakes, test them out before you take off. Pump them up. Make sure they're working, or you're going to be in some serious trouble. As John Wayne once said, life is tough, but it's tougher when you're stupid. It's Janky Time Production. Subscribe, click that bell.